इसका जनरल फार्मूला CnH2n plus 2, CnH2n. और alkynes में there must be at least one triple bond, and the alkynes general formula is CnH2n minus 2. तो फिर मैंने उनकी हर एक की दो दो तीन तीन एग्जांपल्स भी लिखी थी. अब आज हम उससे आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे in the basic terms and all these definitions that we are doing. So after these types of hydrocarbons, saturated, unsaturated, the next thing is this homologous compounds or homologous series. Come here, walaikum assalam. How are you? So continuing further, उसी के आगे after alkynes you can note homologous compounds or homologous series. So compounds which have same general formula or they have same set of physical and chemical properties, we call them homologous compounds, or compounds belonging to one type of organic set. But the basic one definition that we write is compounds having same general formula. Like for example, alkanes, all the alkanes are based on the same general formula. So alkanes are like homologous compounds. The alkenes have their own homologous compound series. The series of such compounds which have same general formula, we call them homologous compounds. इसकी जब मैं एग्जांपल लिखूंगा फिर ही आपको सही समझ आएगी, ठीक है? तो ये तो इसकी डेफिनेशन है, and then one or two more points that I'll write about homologous compounds. ये तो इसकी डेफिनेशन है. That homologous compounds have same chemical properties like the chemical properties of the homologous compounds are same, while the physical properties change gradually. Again, for these 2 points, once I write the example for homologous compounds, you'll understand it better. So इसी के नीचे you could actually write homologous series, alkanes homologous series. इसके नीचे आप ऐड करने, I'll write it here. Alkanes homologous series. Like this is an example of all this. So alkanes have their own homologous series, alkenes have their own homologous series, alkynes, tea, alcohols, they all have their own series of compounds. So alkanes are the most basic, so we'll write that here. The smallest compound in alkane is methane, and methane is like CH4. Yesterday I've been drawing the displayed formulas. आज we'll write them in the molecular form. You need to understand how many hydrogens each carbon would have, for example, if you draw it straight chain. So this is methane. Then we have ethane, that is C2H6. So alkanes homologous series is based on this formula, that is CnH2n plus 2. ये इस पे बेस कर रही है. Where n is the number of carbon atoms, right? N is the number of carbon. If carbon की value is 1, so 2n plus 2 4 हो जाएगा. If n value is 2, so 2n plus 2 6 हो जाएगा. We done this yesterday actually. Then we have this propane, that is C3H8, and then we have butane, which is C4H10, and then pentane. Pentane will be C5H12. Every time we have one more carbon and two more hydrogens, right? Up in your O-level IGCSE syllabus, you have to memorize these series till 5 carbon chain. Pentane that you have to memorize them. I mean, when I say memorize, mean examiner could ask you the formula of pentane, butane, propane, etc. But isse aage, if they'll ask you the formula of the compound, they'll give you some solid information about it. You don't need to guess it. Although to pentane तक syllabus में, but we tell students to do it till octane. इतना याद करें तो अच्छी बात है, थोड़ा सा extra. Pentane से बड़ा is hexane, फिर heptane, and then octane. So यही तो कह रहा हूँ, pentane तक syllabus में है. By all means, everyone need to know it, name and formula. But if you learn these three extra, it will actually give you more confidence about some question where examiner uses octane word, heptane word. Although they tell you heptane has 7 carbon in it, लेकिन अब examiner अगर बता रहा है, but उससे पहले ही अगर आपको पता है कि heptane has 7 carbon, तो you feel more confident for the question. So students memorize it till 10 carbon even, तो 10 नहीं करें, 8 तक करें, अच्छी बात है. अब hexane में there will be 1 more carbon and 2 more hydrogen. तो हेप्टेन का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा? C, देखो 1 कार्बन ऐड हो रहा है ना, C7 H16, and octane is like C8 H18. 2n करोगे तो 16 plus 2 करेंगे तो 18. अब this series that we have here is called alkanes homologous series. अब इसमें you need to know that the first 4 of these, like from methane till butane, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 are gases. ठीक है, first 4 are gases. इसके बाद rest are liquids. You need to know their state. So they are like chemically same, they react similarly by other things with other things, but as we go down that way from methane till octane etc., as you go down that side, there is increase in melting point or boiling point and density also, right? So as we go down that way, there is an increase in boiling point and density as the MR and size increases. जैसे जैसे हम मीथेन से नीचे आ रहे हैं, तो इनका मास भी ज्यादा हो रहा है, एमआर भी ज्यादा हो रहा है और साइज भी. That's why their boiling point and their densities, it increases. You get to predict that, like which of the following may have more or less boiling point compared to each other. So you just need to see the one which is bigger in size with more carbons in it, उसका boiling point relatively ज्यादा ही होगा. I hope you understand the word homologous compounds and the series. This is the series of homologous compounds. इसमें let's say methane is homologous to ethane. दोनों एक दूसरे के homologous हैं. Similar, same general formula, CnH2n plus 2. And the series of such compounds is called homologous. Their physical properties are different. क्योंकि आप देखो जैसे जैसे हम नीचे जा रहे हैं, they're turning from gas to liquid, and obviously a liquid will have more boiling point than a gas. So boiling point change हो रहा है, increase हो रहा है. So we can't say that they're physically same. They're not physically same, they're different. But we can predict. I mean, butane का boiling point pentane से less है. Pentane's boiling point is less than hexane and so forth. So gradually changing boiling point and densities, obviously, mass, etc. Series of such compound is called homologous series. Alkenes have their own series. Alcohols have their own series. Carboxylic acid, सबकी अपनी अपनी series है. In your syllabus, we need to teach you at least first alkane series, and then you need to be able to figure out कि सबकी अपनी अपनी series है, ठीक है ना? तो देखो अगर if these are all alkenes, तो alkenes में it will be ethene, propene, butene, E and E would come with the name, and the formula will change obviously. Alcohol में OL आएगा. We'll be doing the naming, but this is just definition and इसके साथ हम alkanes के साथ explain करते हैं. MR क्या है? ये बड़ा प्यारा क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया. कोई बताएगा what is MR? Anyone? House is open for the question. Yes, sir. We go like relative molecular mass, MR. AR का भाई है. AR क्या होता है? Relative atomic mass. जो periodic table में होता है, that is AR. And MR is relative molecular mass. Molecular mass जब आप किसी भी काउंट का atomic masses को add करके mass निकालते हैं, that is the MR of it. That is like for example water का MR हम निकालते हैं तो it's like 2 for hydrogen and 16 for oxygen, that's 18. तो ये इसका MR है. तो जो molecule का 1 मोल का mass है उसका MR. मोल्स को रिवाइज करेंगे हम. अच्छा अब देखें, ये तो होमोलोगस कंपाउंड की डेफिनेशन होगी एंड ऑल सीरीज. अब इससे नेक्स्ट चीज इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, लाइक एल्काइल ग्रुप. एक अल्काइन है YNE और एक अल्काइल YL. So with alkyl group, I'll tell you what functional groups are, and then functional group के बाद we'll start naming and isomers. फिर इनके सबके reactions हैं, दो तीन तीन चार चार reactions. So let's move further to the alkyl. Alkyl group. इसी के आगे आप लिख ले alkyl group. alkyl group को we indicate by R, और ये जो मैंने साथ डैश दिखाया है ये फ्री बॉन्ड है इसका लाइन. R and free line, free bond. It's like reactive group. और इसका जो जनरल फॉर्मूला है that is CnH2n plus 1. The general formula of an alkyl group is CnH2n plus 1. और ये जो इसके साथ में मैंने लाइन दिखाई हुई है that's the free bond which it has. ये वाली अभी मैं इसकी एग्जांपल दूंगा तो समझ आएगी. पहले इसकी एल्कीन क्या होमोलोगस सीरीज में? नहीं, होमोलोगस सीरीज की डेफिनेशन है सिर्फ. ये तो एल्केन की हम एग्जांपल साथ कोट करते हैं. बट वंस विल डू एल्काइल ग्रुप, बाय फंक्शनल ग्रुप एंड नेमिंग. तो नेमिंग करने के बाद आफ्टर नेमिंग ऑफ एल्कीन अल्कोहल यू रियलाइज योरसेल्फ that every compound has its own series, but we don't need to write those series here, otherwise 4 pages to ye le lenge. That's just one definition. You don't need that thing here. So we don't need to make the notes irrelevant extra large. You need to know the concept and then you need to be able to apply it after 1 or 2 topics yourself. I'll help you out in that. क्योंकि अगर मैं वो सारी सीरीज लिख दूंगा कोई फायदा नहीं उसका. You don't need to memorize them. I mean, a student should know alkane series as a basic example and they need to be able to figure out the rest. कैसे करेंगे बताऊंगा. alkyl group समझे पहले. alkyl group is a reactive group formed by loss of reactive group formed by loss of one hydrogen from alkane. अगर आप alkane से एक हाइड्रोजन निकाल दें, if you remove one hydrogen from alkane we get alkyl YL. It's not alkyne, I repeat. YNE वो और चीज है, कल पढ़ा था हमने, ये और चीज है. Okay, now what is this thing exactly? Let me give you an idea. Like, let's say if I have an alkane and I remove one hydrogen from it. So taking away one hydrogen from an alkane makes it alkyl. अब alkane का general formula क्या होता है? CnH2n plus 2. देखो जो कल नहीं आया वो बता रहा है. CnH2n plus 2. So if I remove one hydrogen from this, so CnH2n plus 2 minus 1, एक हाइड्रोजन कम करूंगा, plus 1 वही बनेगा. So the alkyl's general formula is CnH2n plus 1. और इसको हाँ ना, खूबसूरती के लिए बड़ा, ये इसका फ्री बॉन्ड अभी दिखाऊंगा. फ्री बॉन्ड है, लाइन लगानी है, ये कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ अभी. अच्छा, दूसरी बात ये कि ये CnH2n plus 1 कौन लिखे बार बार? इसको हम R लिखते हैं प्यार से, R, alkyl group. Organic में you see this R anywhere, that's an alkyl group, right? अब इसकी एग्जांपल में समझाऊंगा तो फिर I'll take you to functional group concept. Smallest alkane is methane, जो मैंने अभी लिखे थे हम, CH4. CH4 is saturated, complete. So if I take away one hydrogen from it, what would it become? Yes. CH3. CH3. We take one hydrogen out, CH3. Now CH3 is not complete, it still has one bond free. So we show that bond as a line there. This is methane. Methane. ANE. Methane. Methane becomes alkyl. Alkane becomes alkyl. So methane becomes methyl. ANE. Hatake we put YL. So this is methyl. CH3 is called methyl. Methyl. So what's next alkane after methane? जो आज सीरीज में आज जो लिखे ethane. So ethane का reactive group ethane से alkyl. See, alkane is C2H6, ethane is C2H6, right? So C2H6 is ethane. So if I make it reactive, I take one hydrogen out, it becomes C2H5. Now this one is ethane. What do you call this? Ethyl. This will be ethyl. You just change A and E with YL. That's it. Ethyl. We would need it in the naming, especially methyl, ethyl, propyl, butane say butyl, YL. Now, very important stage, because I've seen gen students के functional group concepts are not good. They always struggle in organic chemistry. So this is how I've learned. How could you actually make student learn functional group properly? Look at the board now. See, if I draw this methane structure, methyl, sorry, CH4, CH3 ka, if I draw its structure, so it's like one carbon having 3 hydrogens, right? CH3. And we know valency of carbon is 4. So there's one bond free. We show it here like that. Let's say it's not stable. Yeah. Because it still has one position free, right? So if on this free position or free bond, let's say if I put OH group here, मैं suppose कर रहा हूँ. So if with that free bond I put OH group, it does not remain alkane anymore. Okay, alkane to all carbon hydrogen, nothing else. But now what I've done, I took one hydrogen out, and in that place I put OH group here. Now this compound in fact has become alcohol. Alcohols have OH group in them. All right. This thing OH tells me it's an alcohol. So this is its functional group. Functional group. Functional group is the group of atoms. अभी मैं definition लिखूंगा इसकी. It's the group of atoms or one atom even, which tells the properties of an organic compound. We tell us the type of organic compound. What type of organic compound is it, right? That is functional group. And how do we get all these organic compounds? Like alcohols, carboxylic acids, esters. How do we get them? We simply make them from alkanes. Alkane say we take out one hydrogen each, and on the free place we put that functional group. अब वो functional group उधर लगाते हो, it becomes a different compound every time. So that thing that tells me what type of compound is it, that is the functional group of that compound, right? Yes, like alcohol, good. अब इससे आगे आप ऐड कर लें definition for the functional group, ये जो मैं अभी बताया आपको. You don't need to copy this part, but let's link it to the functional group. A functional group की definition is like it could be an atom, one atom, group of atoms, which determine the type and properties of an organic compound. So it's like an atom or group of atoms which determines the type and properties of an organic compound. So the atom or group of atoms, I mean, it could be more than one atom even, that tells me what sort of compound is it. That's called functional group. So alkyl group is reactive alkane, which is made by taking away one hydrogen from alkane. The formula of alkyl group is CnH2n plus 1, and we show it by R in organic chemistry, and it has one free bond, and on that free position if you put something else, not hydrogen again, the hydrogen आपने निकाला वो we don't put it back, we put something else, some halogen, chlorine, bromine, or OH group, or nitrogen, or sulfur. So that becomes a different compound altogether. अब इसके नीचे हम functional groups को list करेंगे, the ones which are in your syllabus. There are actually dozens of functional groups in organic, but we only have 3-4 in our syllabus, O level में. इसी के नीचे you can add the functional groups. Like organic compound, their functional group, and one example. It would be a kind of table. मैं उसके headers बना लूं, फिर आप लिख लें. So just after this, you could actually give this heading: organic compound, and then the functional group or the general formula first. General formula slash functional group. Organic compound, general formula slash functional group, and one example. Theme columns. You could actually put them at space. Middle वाला थोड़ा सा slightly बड़ा होगा. So the first one is alcohol. अब जरा देखो, before I write general formula of alcohol, let's come back to that CH3OH thing. CH3OH. अब ये जरा इस चीज को समझना, बोर्ड पे देखें सब लोग. What is the CH3 called? Methyl. And methyl is a kind of alkyl group, right? And how do we show alkyl group? R. That's the smallest alkyl group, by the way. Methyl, ethyl, propyl, butyl. बाकी सब बड़े हो रहे हैं. So methyl is R and OH with that. So the alcohol's general formula is ROH. ROH, right? If you wish to open up R, so what is the general formula of R itself? CnH2n plus 1. So if you get to write the complete general formula of an alcohol, so we open up R and we write it like CnH2n plus 1 and OH. So this is like the complete general formula. See, it takes a lot of space and it's big. So instead of opening it up, we write it ROH. इस तरह लिख दें, इस तरह लिख दें. Both are same. O level में we recommend कि you open it up and write it complete. ठीक है? But let's save the space there and write ROH for it. Now, what tells me that this is an alcohol again? This OH thing here, right? The OH. The OH group is the functional group. So this thing which I put in the square box, that is the functional group. इसको आप link कर दें इस तरह से so that you know alcohols का functional group is this, whereas the general formula would be ROH, the whole thing. And the smallest alcohol is CH3OH. CH3OH. हाँ यही वाला methanol. Yeah. Let's quickly, because you guys are linked with it now. तो methyl से बड़ा alkyl group क्या है? Ethane का reactive group, alkyl. Ethane से would yl. Ethyl. Ethane से methyl. Ethane से ethyl. Ethyl, we wrote it, right? So what is the formula of ethyl? C2H5. Free bond. And if I put OH with it, so that is ethyl and OH is the functional group. We call it methyl se methanol, ethyl se ethanol. Ethanol. We'll do the naming afterwards. I can वैसे ही आपको idea दे रहा हूँ. Ethanol, ethyl alcohol. That's the one which is used as a fuel combustion के लिए. Like we use CNG, right? Against petrol. And in so many countries against petrol, ethanol is used as a fuel. And then it's an antiseptic and it's used as a drink even. The common alcohol is this ethanol. ना करें क्या करें? आगे रोजे आ रहे हैं बेटा फिर बनाऊंगा. हालत चेक करो इसकी. रोजे के बाद बनाए. बेटा ये रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है, ठीक है ना? तो अब किसी और जगह चला गया तो तुम्हारे साथ साथ मैं भी जेल में हूँ. फौरन दिमाग ऐसी चीज पे जाता है ना. इथेनॉल, इथाइल अल्कोहल. सो just for example मैंने put किया तो methanol, ethanol, propanol ये ऐसे चलता है. We'll do the naming afterwards. So the next organic compound that you have in the syllabus is carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids are R, C, double bond, O, OH. So their functional group is big. This part. Anything attached with R is the functional group part. So the thing in the blue box I'm putting is the functional group again. So extra oxygen. खूबसूरती के लिए. खूबसूरती भाई कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड का फंक्शनल ग्रुप ही ये है तो एक्स्ट्रा कहाँ से लगाइए. ऑक्सीजन के वैलेंसी इज 2, so it has 2 oxygens in it, one with the carbon, the other with carbon and hydrogen. So that's carboxylic acid. The common vinegar that you guys use salad पे डाल के खट्टा करके sauce, soup and stuff, sour and that is vinegar, basically ethanoic acid. So it's like CH3OH, methyl और आगे COOH. अभी you don't need to worry about the naming of these. We'll be doing the naming in next few classes, but वैसे मैं लिख रहा हूँ. The next functional group that you have in the syllabus is esters. Esters. And esters are large. They have two alkyl groups. And their functional group is this part, C double bond O and O. So that's like CH3, C double bond O, O and CH3. That's like just one example as such. Esters are fruity smelling, like banana, apple, orange. So all these candies and juices that you guys used, apple juice and mango juice and all stuff, they actually have these esters in them. ये वाला ये वाला ये वाला ये तो याद हो जाएगा अभी तो हमने ओपनिंग की ऑर्गेनिक की लंबी रनिंग है इसकी डोंट वरी these three functional group and organic compounds are in your syllabus and we do their reactions and everything after alkane alkenes also ये तो भी मैंने start में लिख दी है you don't need to get scared by their size and all once you reach this stage हम जब reactions पढ़ेंगे you will get used to all this ठीक है फिर आपको मुश्किल नहीं लगेगा अभी तो आप O level में हैं तो जब students go in A level, I mean to my A level students, I tell them that these 2 years are the toughest of your life. फिर वो खुश हो जाते हैं that perhaps after this everything will be all right. And then I tell them that these 2 years are toughest of your life and then you will get used to it. फिर आपको मुश्किल नहीं लगेगा so we started with methanol well we'll reach this don't worry that's easy all right that would be all for today I'll not be continuing further with the naming but since on Friday we do the like online class around 2:20 don't miss it one class organic you miss whole concept क्या हुआ travel कर रहे होगे तक आप पहले चले जाओ जुम्मे से है 2:20 पे जाके अटक पे नेट तो आता है ना बेहतरीन फिर चले कोई नहीं मसला कुछ करेंगे इम्प्रोवाइज या ऑनलाइन क्लास में कोई और चीज पढ़ा इन्वायरमेंटल केमिस्ट्री टाइप पढ़ा दूं इन्वायरमेंटल केमिस्ट्री ऑर्गेनिक आई विल ट्राई एंड टीच इन फेस टू फेस विल डू समथिंग ठीक है लेकिन डोंट अगेन मिस फ्राइडेज क्लास क्या मालिक है मोल अगर फ्राइडे को कराऊंगा तो फिर और शोर मचाओगे नहीं मैं